Yeah, hi folks. Now I have a message for my detractors out there who are walking around with their blinders on, acting like an indoctrinated groupthink mob of Labour Party supporters, who don't even realise that Liz Gunn and her advisors are listening to me. Now she responded to my first video, and now she seems to have responded to my last, in a positive way, to questions you failed to ask. Now I'll read you what I said about her in my last video. Quote, "I didn't see a leader, I saw a self-indulgent narcissist who is already cracking. I saw a waffling woman who can't handle criticism or pressure and is now playing the victim." Unquote. And during the video, I called her out on her staged crocodile tears and her staged sigh, and that she took about 8.5 minutes to begin explaining the reason for her video. Now, in her latest video, the narcissist, gone. The victim, gone. The crocodile tears and sigh, gone. And she explained the reason for her video right at the start.
I'm Liz Gunn, and welcome to this Thursday policy statement, which centres all around MMP and elections.
There it is, folks. She clearly stated the reason for the video from the outset. We didn't have to listen to 8.5 minutes of waffle to find out.
There have been a number of requests for very simple statements.
Again, meaning no waffle.
So that is what I'm going to do about the ways in which you can use your vote, given what happened last week when the person in my team who desperately needed the help of the Electoral Commission, in fact, as I now find out and did not know when I did the last message to you, in fact had a number of different people from the Electoral Commission giving differing advice. I can't say more than that now, except to say that a re-examination of those facts has led inevitably to, well, it's led to the offers of legal help from others in the legal community, and some very fine legal minds are now stepping forward from here and, interestingly, from around the world. I've had a call from overseas from somebody with very deep legal training saying, "Liz, the world is watching New Zealand," and asking whether there was something awry, something not right in the way this situation was handled.
Yeah, so where do you think her change is coming from? It's coming from here, folks. It's coming from your comments. Now, since I've been covering Gunn for the past week or so, I've received hundreds of comments like this. They now know how many people support my view and how many don't. And I would estimate about 30 to 40% of people, 30 to 40% of people share my views, which means Gunn is potentially losing out on 40% support that she could have. And if her advisors are not following this, they are not doing their job. Now, folks, I really only have one concern about this video, and that's this. Her simple statement is not simple.
There are many who also, we have found out, do not really understand the way forward in terms of the election process and our MMP system in New Zealand. So I'm going to give, as I promised, a very simple explanation. New Zealand Loyal has 32 electoral candidates who are eligible to be elected to Parliament. We had one more, but they have withdrawn. and they're not going to campaign. Be that as it may. In those electorates, you can tick the New Zealand loyal candidate to represent your will in Parliament in all of those 32 electorates. So in New Zealand, we have 72 electorate seats in the New Zealand Parliament out of an available 120 seats. Of the 72 electorate seats, 65 are general seats, that's what they're called, and 7 are Māori seats. The issue that we have regards the party list. We are taking, as I said, a legal challenge about what happened when we submitted our documentation. And there are good grounds. I would not be doing this were there not. And of course, I will be giving you updates as this matter progresses. So we currently have candidates on the New Zealand Loyal Party list. I and Peter Drew are standing on the party list. Again, there is a third one who is not wanting to stand. So we must deal with these vicissitudes and we'll find a way through that. The party vote, though, is what is used to calculate the allocation of party seats available. There are 48 seats available for the party vote allocation in New Zealand, 48. Let's think about that. If you protest vote, party vote New Zealand Loyal, and let's imagine that we get half of the party vote. That means of the 48, then 24 of those 48 available seats would be allocated to us, to New Zealand Loyal. Let's hope it's 70%, not just 50%, but say there's half. We would have 24 allocated to us. Having only a few on the party list means, let's say, 22 of those seats would remain vacant until the next election. So imagine having 32 electoral candidates plus 2 through the party vote, giving New Zealand Loyal 34 seats in Parliament. That would be out of a total of 99 seats in Parliament because of the unallocated 21 seats which New Zealand Loyal would otherwise have been entitled to.
Yeah, now did anyone understand that? Now something as complex as MMP has to be done on PowerPoint. Now to a good message from Gunn.
The only way for the globalists to maintain control, if we pull this off, when you help us to pull this off, to get all our New Zealand Loyal candidates in, to do a massive protest party vote New Zealand Loyal, the only way they could maintain control then is to show their hand to all of us. How would they do that? They would demonstrate that, yes, indeed, Labour and National are, in fact, simply two sides of the same rotten coin, along with their minion parties. And how would we see that? Because we would see National and Labour do a naked thrust at power, calling it the overt uni-party collaboration. Imagine that, Labour and National uniting in order to push away the wishes of the New Zealand people.
Yes, I can clearly see National and Labour forming a coalition partnership for a power grab. Now that is a good message, and I'd like to hear more like that. But sadly, that good message by Gunn is lost by this from a day or so earlier.
So, today, I've had a call from a lawyer who's based up in Singapore, really clever lawyer, and he said to me this. He said, Liz, the world is watching New Zealand, and we absolutely know that something is terribly wrong in that country and is terribly wrong that you did not get that party, the help you needed to get that party registered. He's looking at it, and others are as well. I will leave that there. It's been a heartbreak like Well, I said to a friend, I had my heart broken at 23. My mother wouldn't let me marry the boy I wanted to marry. And I'm a very loyal person. So for 8 years, I dealt with a heartbreak. And I said to a friend the other day, it's the same feeling, because I love this country and I love you and I love the people who've come up to me. And my son, who is so beautiful and has seen me work, and he has worked, and all of us have worked hours, like 20 hours we work through the day and through the night.
Wow, the fake crocodile tears again. Now, Maggie Thatcher never cried. Helen Clark didn't cry. And I even think Jacinda Ardern didn't cry as much. So why does she do it?
It's been a heartbreak. Well, I said to a friend, I had my heart broken at 23. My mother wouldn't let me marry the boy I wanted to marry. And I'm a very loyal person. So for 8 years, I dealt with a heartbreak. And I said to a friend the other day, it's the same feeling, because I love this country and I love you and I love the people who've come up to me.
That's why, folks, she gets sympathy or adoration or something like that. That's exactly what children do. There's something going on here, folks, that needs to be addressed. That is something that a leader should never do. Now, folks, if you come to this policy page, you can clearly see these policies will dig New Zealand out of its political quagmire. They're very, very good policies. But I don't think so for this election, unless they can pull off a miracle with the Electoral Commission. In fact, I think it's better for them to wait 3 years and come back strongly at the next election, after they've gotten everything sorted out, all their problems sorted out, including Liz Gunn's crying. Now, folks, you simply cannot have a crying leader. Can you imagine a crying leader on the international stage? Yeah, now folks, that was a mouthful, but I had to say it, as I would like to see New Zealand Loyal succeed as much as anyone else does. Anyway, folks, I've posted all the relevant links below.